Hey guys, I'm not sure exactly what happened earlier. Had a little technical difficulty, but we're back. And so let's jump in. This is day 12 of 30 days of how to find success with me, Jody, Almond. And so I'm ready to jump into this lesson with you. We have been discussing the last few days. Again, this is 30 days of how to be successful with me, Jody, Almond. And we've been discussing potential predators. And so today I want to jump into that, and I want to begin to help you and give you some insight into those things that are potential predators and how that they are here to help you. All right. And so let's jump in if we can, and let's get into this lesson, and let's try to give you some help today. So if we can, as we start, I want to talk to you today about the idea of competence, or really incompetence is the potential predator, but I want to help you to have competence. Now, competence is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently. John Maxwell says this about competence. He says, competence goes beyond words. It's the ability to say it, to plan it, to do it in such a way that others know that you know how. I believe that most of you are competent in many areas of your life. There are areas that you are competent in, but you yet feel incompetent. And what happens when you feel incompetent is it becomes a potential predator to your life, to your potential. It becomes something. Incompetence can kill the potential that you have to reach great heights and do amazing things in your life. But yet, because of your lack of competence in your abilities to do that thing, you never pursue it and you never go forward with it. So it is untapped potential. Now, with that being said, I want to encourage you, because in this lesson today and in this session, I'm going to help you, because most people, the reason they feel that way is because they have a mentality of I'm not good enough. And what leads to that is two different things. Number one is people feel unqualified. Unqualified. People feel unqualified. They feel like they are not good enough because they're unqualified. In other words, they don't recognize themselves as having the ability to do something. This is where incompetence comes in. Because when we're competent, we understand that we are qualified in the ability to competently carry out whatever it is that we feel like we have the ability to do. Now, I use this picture on purpose. Look at it for just a minute. Now, I don't know about you, but I can say for me that I am unqualified to be with this group of people hiking up this mountain in treacherous conditions. I am incompetent and I am unqualified. The reason I can say I'm incompetent is because I cannot do this successfully, nor can I do it efficiently. I recognize that. And that's another thing about competence. You must recognize what you have the ability to do successfully and efficiently, and then also what you do not have the ability to do. But what I want to teach you in this is not to allow yourself to believe you can't do something that you can do. In other words, I've known people who were very competent. They were competent carpenters. And they have the ability to do amazing things with carpentry. But yet they continually unqualify themselves because they feel like they can't do it to the level of so-and-so. Well, I'm not telling you you're going to be perfect, but I'm telling you you can do a great job at what it is you do. I've known people who were musicians and singers and have amazing talent, but yet they feel because they've never taken a lesson and they learned by ear and they picked it up naturally, so it's almost a God-given talent, they feel unqualified many times. Let me encourage you. Do not allow the idea of feeling unqualified to stop you. The second one I want to talk to you about is disqualified. It's very similar. It both has the original word qualified in it with just a different pronoun to it. Prefix to it. I'm sorry, not pronoun, prefix. And so what you find is when you're talking about disqualified, it's usually due to something you've done making you feel ineligible. So many other times we find that people will not go forth and carry out their potential because they feel like they've done something that would disqualify them. An example of that is, for example, many times I've found in church and in ministry that people feel like they have, because of their past and because of the mistakes they've made, that they have disqualified themselves from being able to serve or being able to be involved in ministry. And so I find so many times that they are very competent. I was actually having a conversation with someone recently about this matter. And in one of the positions within the church, they were talking about there were several people who were very competent and skilled and could do the job of ministry in this particular area very well, very efficiently, and very successfully. But yet, because there were other people in the church that felt that because of their past, they had disqualified themselves from that position, these men were not able to hold that position. Let me say this. There are certain things that we may disqualify ourselves from in life. I don't know. But here's the catch. The one thing I want you to understand is that if you have figured out and discovered your purpose and you are developing your purpose and you still feel like you're not good enough, hey, let me tell you something. Do not allow the lack of self-esteem in what you can do stop you. Think about this. What does Philippians 4:13 says? It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so I want to encourage you that don't allow your past mistakes, don't allow your present ideas of feeling like I know I can do it, but can I really do it to a level of success? If you can do it competently, which means that you can do it efficiently and successfully, then you are competent. Let me break it down and make it very, very simple for you. If I were to ask you something so simple such as, can you boil an egg? Can you put an egg in water with the shell on, a pot full of water, turn the pot on, let the water boil for 15, 20 minutes, take it out, let the egg cool a little under some water, crack it, and you've got a hard-boiled egg. You know what you just did? You are competent in being able to boil an egg. Okay? So you understand what I'm saying. You did it. You can do it successfully and you can do it efficiently. Now, I can boil an egg, but I can't cook certain things. Now, I could if I took the time to learn, and that's another key thing about competence. And so what I want to do is, in this idea of how to defeat the potential predator, is I want to take you and I want to give you 5 ways to be competent. 5 ways to be competent. Number 1, be present. What I mean by be present is, in order to prove your competence to the world, you have to be present. You have to show up. If you're not showing up, how can people know what you have the ability to do? So just like me with this, if I don't show up here and teach you these lessons, how would you know what I have the ability to give you and offer you? But I have to show up. I have to be here. Number 2, be progressing. It's not enough to just show up. I need to keep improving. Now, we've talked about this briefly in another session when we talked about investing in yourself. You need to continually be improving your life and doing better. You need to constantly be moving forward and achieving greater things, climbing another rung of the ladder, always reaching up, never being satisfied, never settling, never just saying, I'm going to struggle, but constantly moving to the point of success and then on to significance. Keep progressing, keep improving in your life. You'll never be perfect, so there's always room for improvement. Number three, be persistent. Follow through with excellence. In other words, what it is you're doing in order to be competent, to truly prove you're competent, you have to be present, you have to be progressing, and you have to be persistent. You have to follow through with excellence. You have to follow through with doing the very best you can do at what it is you're trying to do. Don't give it half-heartedness. Don't give it just a little bit of your effort. Do it with excellence. Because what happens is when you're persistent in doing something with excellence, people take notice. And then you not only realize you're competent, everybody else begins to realize you're competent also. And so as you be present and you're showing up, as you're progressing and you keep improving, as you're persistent and you follow through with excellence, the next thing is you want to perform well. You want to have a great performance. You always want to do more than is expected of you. Let me give you an illustration. In other words, if you expect me to come on here and teach you, I could simply come on, put on my camera, and talk to you, right? But what I want to do is I want to outperform and overperform your expectations. By doing that, what I do is I come on here and I give you notes that you can screenshot and pull away. I give you content that is great content that'll help your life. I'm not just running my mouth on a camera and talking through a microphone. I'm really giving you quality content. I'm not only doing that, I'm laying out slideshows for you to engage not only your hearing, because we learn in many ways. We don't just learn by hearing, we learn by seeing, we learn by visualization, we learn by being involved, we learn by writing, we learn by many different ways. And so I'm giving you all those ways to help you learn so that you can apply the teachings and not just hear the teachings. So you can see how that I'm trying to be competent in this area, and I know that I'm competent in this area because, for one, I know I can build a slideshow. For two, I know that I can run the program I'm doing this on. For three, I know I can live stream. For four, I know the content that I am teaching you. And for five, I put the effort in. I try to do it with excellence. That's why just a moment ago, when something went awry and my microphone muted on me, I stopped. And I restarted this broadcast because I want to give you the very best that I can give you. So maybe you didn't even know that, but now you do. And so here's the catch. I think that to be competent, you always have to perform to the peak of your ability. It's kind of about being persistent. You always follow through with what you're doing with excellence, but with performance, you always do more than is expected. You always go the extra mile. And by doing that, you now are becoming very competent in this area that we're discussing. Number 5, provide. Provide. This is where you want to inspire others. You want to provide others with inspiration. You see, in order to be competent, it should be having an effect on other people. If you notice, there's excellence involved in competency, there's expectation involved in competency, and there's affecting others in competency. And so you want to do those things. You want to make sure all those things are happening. So again, if I am the musician, if I am the singer, if I'm the one boiling the egg, let's put it back to that. Let's just go simple tonight. It's Easter. People have just boiled eggs, dyed eggs, done all these things. They're going to be eating eggs for days, right? So here's the thing. Let's say that I'm going to boil an egg or two for you for lunch. Now, what could I do? I could boil those eggs and I could crack them and I could put the egg on the plate and salt and pepper and whatever. I could make it just, here it is. Or I could say, I want to boil this egg with excellence. I want to make sure it is just right. What happens if when I go to put the egg in, one of them cracks and all of a sudden now you've got a poached egg and not a boiled egg? What am I going to do? Am I going to serve you a poached egg? You didn't ask for a poached egg. You asked for a hard boiled egg. So this is what I have to do. I have to get another egg and I have to put it in. I can choose what to do with the poached egg, but here's the thing. I'm not going to give you something less than what you expected. and I'm going to give you something that is served with excellence. This is why you pay more when you go to a high-end restaurant than you do for a fast food restaurant. But what you'll find is, take Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A tries to do what they do with excellence, from customer service to the quality of food. I was told recently that Chick-fil-A will not allow their French fries, if they've been fried and cooked. Excuse me. Let me get a swallow of water. If they've been fried and cooked and they're under the heater for more than 3 minutes, it's like 2.5 to 3 minutes, they get thrown out and new ones get put up. That, my friend, is serving their clientele with excellence. That is going above and beyond what I could expect, okay? But then if you even go above Chick-fil-A and you go to some high-end steakhouse that may cost you $50 or $60 per plate, okay? If you've ever done that and you go to one of those places, what you'll realize real quick is you get all of this. Those people are showing up. Those people are improving constantly on how to run that place. Those people are following through with excellence and being persistent in what they do. They'll come to your table every 2 minutes. Could you use anything? Do you need water? They're watching you from a corner. You're their table and they're paying close attention to you. If they see your water get less than half full, you getting topped off, right? And so what you find is they're doing more than you could expect, and they are providing you with inspiration. You're like, man, I've never had that kind of service. Now, what does that do? That makes you run out and tell people, have you been here? And when you do that, what you're doing is you're saying, these people, Chick-fil-A, is very competent. It may not be your favorite chicken. You may like Popeyes better. You may like Kentucky Fried Chicken better. You may like Bojangles better. But at the end of the day, Chick-fil-A is competent. My kid dropped its milkshake, and I knew I was going to have to buy another one. So I went to the counter and said, ma'am, I'm sorry. My child dropped the milkshake. It's his fault, her fault, and I need to get another milkshake. Sir, here, take another milkshake. I've seen them do that. That is excellence. That's doing more than I could expect. That's inspiring me as an entrepreneur, as a life coach, as a business coach. That makes me want to say, hey, you know what? I want to give people more than they pay for. I want to exceed their expectations, because I want them to know without a doubt that I am competent. And the problem is, friend, is that we have people that are going around and they're feeling so incompetent. And what this does is this becomes a potential predator to your possible life that you could be living. Because there's so much that you could be doing that isn't being accomplished because you feel I'm not good enough. You feel like you're unqualified and you're disqualified, but I just gave you 5 things you can begin putting into practice right now tonight. And if you'll do those 5 things in the areas that you are already competent, and you say, but what about the area I'm not competent? Didn't you see what I said? Let me go back to it for just a minute. Can we? Let's go back. What did I say? I said, be progressing. So in the areas that I'm not competent, what do I do, Jody? In the areas you're not competent, I had to learn how to use this software and this platform that I'm using right now so that I could teach you this lesson. I had to do that. And in doing that, I had to continue to evolve, continue to improve. And by doing that, I was able to give you this lesson tonight through this means, with the slideshows and with all these things. You know why? Because now I feel that I am competent in doing this and running this software. When I first started, I could have said I'm incompetent. But to become competent, I had to keep growing and keep improving. So I want to encourage you tonight. Do not allow the idea of incompetence in areas you know that you're being drawn to and called to and is part of your purpose. Become competent in those areas by doing, again, these 5 things. Be present and show up. Always be there. And let me say this, when you show up filled up. Show up filled up. Number 2, be progressing, keep improving. Number 3, be persistent, follow through with excellence. Number 4, your performance. You should always do more than expected. And number 5, provide others with inspiration. I hope this has been a help to you tonight, and I'm not keeping you as long as maybe I normally do because it's Easter Sunday, and I want you to enjoy it with your family. But God bless you and have a great evening, and I cannot wait to jump into tomorrow night with you as we continue to discuss potential predators in your life that are trying to destroy your life and destroy your potential, but I'm going to give the ability to learn how to destroy the thing that's trying to destroy you. Until tomorrow, God bless and enjoy your night.